Okay guys, so in the previous video we set in place the basic structure of our backend server. Now we need to move forward and basically need to set the infrastructure of sending emails using our Gmail account, of course, from the Spring Boot app. So in order to do this, we need to navigate to the contact controller next to the existing contact test method and set in place a new method that will be annotated with post mapping. And let's use the /send email text. This method will return a response entity, and let's call it send email. And for the moment, let's just return a new response entity of type void, and let's use the HTTP status dot created. So 201 response. Now we need to implement actual business logic for this method, but an important aspect to note is that this send email will need to basically map this contact form data. So when the user will click on this contact form, all these fields should be transferred to the backend server, and we need a way or another to basically transform this data into something that Spring will be able to recognize. So let's create a new package called backend model, and under this package we need to set a simple class, and let's call this class contact form DTO from contact form data transfer object. And over here let's define some variables: private string name, private string email, the subject, and also the message. So if you recall, all these four fields are present in the contact form, and we'll transfer all of them to this backend Spring Boot Java application. I set a simple constructor for this. Let's also generate the getters and setter methods. And let's also create a constructor with fields. So I selected all four fields, and basically we have everything in place now. Getter, setters, empty constructor, and constructor with fields. So when we invoke the send email method, we'll also receive the contact form DTO. Let's call the variable contact form DTO, and this is annotated, of course, with request body. So that data manipulation will be made automatically. Now we need to implement the business logic to send emails, and for this I created a com backend service package, and under the service package we'll create a simple class. Let's call it email service. So this email service will need to be annotated with a service stereotype. So let's do this. And let's also set in place a login mechanism. So logger, we'll use the log manager. Get logger of email service class. Let's import the corresponding package from the org apache. Now, in order to actually send emails, we need to auto-wire the Java mail sender specific component, and let's call it email sender. So this is available due to the fact that we imported the mail dependency in our own XML file, and this Java mail sender requires some properties that we need to set under the application properties. So basically over here we need to set the specific Gmail properties so that we'll be able to send emails using this Spring Boot backend server. So the first property will be Spring Mail Host mstp@gmail.com. We need to use the Spring Mail port 587. Spring Mail username. I created a simple email address for testing this functionality, so don't think that this is my actual email address. This is once again just for testing. Spring Mail password, and of course I will blur this. It's not safe to expose passwords. So I set up the email corresponding password, and now the Spring Mail properties mail mstp auth set to true, and Spring Mail properties mail mstp start TLS enable true. So this should be all the properties that you need in order to send emails. And of course, if you want to use your own email and password, you can configure the username and password properties with whatever Gmail account that you have. Good, so all the properties are in place now for the application properties. And let's move back to the email service. And we'll need to define a variable here that will be set automatically with the value that we configured under the application properties. So this will take the value that we set for our Spring Mail username. So this will send emails to that particular username. And now let's define a method, a void method, name send, that will receive a contact form DTO. And under this method, we need to set in place the entire infrastructure to properly compute the email and send it to the variable that we set under the email to online 21. So in order to prepare an email, we need my message preparator. We instantiate it, and basically we need to override the prepare method that receives as parameter of my message. And over here we will just need to set data under this my message reference. So the first thing is to set the recipient. So message recipient type .to. So this will basically set in place who will actually receive the email. So email 2, if you recall, we set it on line 25 and 26 in this case. Now for the my message, we need to set the subject, and for the subject we will extract the data from the contact form DTO get subject. Now we need my message helper. You will see in a few moments why we set this in place. So this my message helper will receive the my message and true as parameters. And now let's use this helper. So helper dot set text. Let's remove this, and basically let's compute the body of our email in an HTML format. So we'll go with HTML tag, the body tag. Let's try to format this a bit. A plus sign. I think we need to format it in this way to be more visible. Okay, good. Looks much better now. Using some sort of indentation to see how this HTML body format will be created. So under the body tag, let's set in place something like email sent by, and we need email that will be extracted. Actually, let's go with the name first. So contact form DTO get name. We'll also set the BR tag for end of line. And let's use now the email address. So email address, contact form DTO dot get email plus. Let's go with the plus here. Let's use two BR tags to make some space in our email. And let's also extract the message sent by the user from the contact from DTO get message. And of course we need to close the body and also the HTML tags. Let's do some additional indentation here. Let's not forget about the HTML tag. Okay. Let's move this, and basically now looks much better. And now after the set text we need to also add the true, since this will inform the helper that this message will be of type HTML, so that the email will be properly handled in this way. So all the specific HTML tags will be transformed correspondingly. And now we need to use the email sender, send, and just send the preparator. And of course, if any issues that might appear, we need to catch any exceptions. Logger.info, email sent with success. And in case of any errors, let's log an error here. And throw the exception. So in the next video we'll test this functionality to see if it properly works or not.